How frequently have you sat with your companions and unexpectedly focused on the jinn, devils, and the dark houses, and you tracked down yourself? In spite of your terror, excited and eager to hear the story as far as possible. On the other hand, for example, how frequently you are scrolling on social media and you see a post discussing a scary place or a reviled castle, and you end up following the post. Not only that, try to go into the scary house and you will find a place of fear, and the demise-prepared individuals are sitting tight for them frantically. Surprisingly, however, the majority of them will begin shouting and yelling and saying enough. Yet when they finish the game, they are at the highest point of joy and need to play once more. For what reason truly do they do this? Why do you think they do this? Isn't it expected to be a terrible inclination? And you should avoid that. What is this story? If you are the first time on my channel, please subscribe to see our updated videos. We post videos every week, and please hit the like and write us an encouraging comment. People's attraction to things that scare them is not a new phenomenon. Humans from ancient times have had this nature. For example, in primitive times, there were people who were willing to risk their lives in order, for example, to explore a new cave or climb a mountain. And many other people enjoyed hunting predatory animals and poisonous snakes, even though these animals were not even good for eating. The whole point is that these people do this for enjoyment. Even in modern times, many people enjoy killing and bloody scenes. For example, Roman wrestling games were played in public places and people watched them a lot. In fact, even when people let their imagination run wild, they come up with sick stories that frighten their children, and little by little, stories began to appear to us about bloodthirsty predators, the mother ogre, and so on. Characters we don't know who has the brains that hate us, but nevertheless they are embedded in our history and have come upon us all, generation after generation. It was a source of terror for every one of us at some point in our lives. But when we hear these stories, we open our eyes widely and give all our attention. Our curiosity keeps us all behind these stories until the end. And this is despite the fact that many people still know that they will not be able to sleep at night because of them. That is why, with the beginnings of cinema in the 1990s, the topic of people's love for fear and scary stories inspired the French director and actor Georges Méliès to take the experience and turn these stories into animated pictures. In 1896, the first horror film in the world came to light, which was The House of the Devil. The film was only 3 minutes long. It showed images of moving skeletons, mutant bats that appeared and disappeared, and a man dressed in black, who was playing the role of the devil. Of course, all of this was of very poor quality, and even without sound, despite that, the movie went viral and made fantastic results. This encouraged many directors and producers to try their luck, and horror films began to spread all over the world. They began to resort to literary classics such as Dracula and Frankenstein in order to turn them into animated films. And with time, symbols of horror began to appear everywhere around us. Animation, linguistics, games, say whatever you want. This increased the popularity of horror among people more and more. Even when an opinion poll was conducted among 1,000 American people, the poll revealed that 55% of them loved scary things. But then the question remains, what makes all these people from all over the world agree that they love horror? In order to answer this question, we need to delve deeper into the human body and know what actually happens to us when we find ourselves in a terrifying situation. In principle, fear is the main reason that we have not become extinct until today, because if we were not afraid of anything, we could go hug a tiger, play with a snake, or even jump off a mountain since we are not afraid. For this reason, God gave us an integrated system that always catches us in dangerous situations like this, when we are exposed to aerial, terrifying situations, such as a lion running after us, or a situation that is not really dangerous, such as when you are watching a horror movie. The heart rate increases, and this helps that the blood is delivered quickly to the muscles of the body in preparation for running, Cortisol raises blood pressure and expands the blood vessels around the vital organs so that they take in a larger amount of oxygen. And this, by the way, is what makes you breathe quickly when we are afraid. And as for endorphins, they are a natural sedative. It is secreted as a reserve if there is an injury or something. As for dopamine, it is what delivers messages between the nerve cells in the brain and the rest of the body's organs. The secret starts from here. Endorphins. Their effect is not very different from narcotic substances such as morphine, and they and adrenaline cause a feeling of euphoria and happiness after they are secreted in the body. And this is what makes us involuntarily respond to the things that fear us. And this is because we feel a little high afterward. And this is also what we are excited and want to play the roller coaster or scary house. When a study was conducted on 262 adults after they left the scary house, they found that 50% of them felt an improvement in their psychological state after they tried it. And the tests that were done on them before and after the experiment showed that their response to stress was less after they left the house of horrors. This explains why many people, when they are annoyed and stressed, like to read a scary novel, for example, or watch a scary movie in the desert. Also, it's important to mention that it is not only hormones that play a role in people's attraction to entertainment fear, but that there are other reasons that are more related to psychology. For example, that most people who love this horror have a condition called morbitocuriosity. This makes them always curious to know what happened, or what will happen, how it happened, and when and where. Even if what they hear or see scares them, they will not relax until they reach the end. That is why if you are walking on the street one day and see an accident, you will find the road blocked and people crowded around the accident, even if no one intends to help. People still want to see what happened, and sometimes this curiosity is for the purpose of learning and gathering information, so that if something similar happened to us one day, we would see how we would act. Even when we come to watch a horror movie, we keep thinking, how will the monster die? Or how will the demon behave? Because in our subconscious, if a monster appeared to us one day, we would know what to do. And since we are safe and nothing would happen to us, we live the experience of danger without any tangible danger. This explains why most stories and films that are based on true stories or have a relationship to the reality we live in remain more popular than others. This is despite the fact that it is supposed to be more frightening than any other story or any other movie, since what we are seeing is talking about something that really happened. One of the things that also makes people attracted toward fear is that fear gives us the opportunity to release the pent-up feelings inside us. This is because it is our nature as human beings that when we feel anxious or stressed, we find ourselves wanting to cry or scream or something else. And of course, there is no normal person who will be riding the metro, for example, or anything, and suddenly scream in very loud sound. But if you are in a house of horrors or riding a roller coaster, then you are welcome. You can scream at max volume. This explains why many people love horror movie and scary games. Thanks for watching. This is Mega Mixology. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up bottom, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell. See you. Next video.